Hi guys, this is Daniel Alexander Cannon here on the Supernatural Show, the show that is not for entertainment purposes. And today we are going to be talking about something that's not entertaining at all, and that is we're going to be talking around the subject tree of something that is planned for June 14th. This coming Saturday, there are widespread protests, way more than you would think. At least they're planned across the entire United States, not just by one organization, but by many controlled opposition organizations across the entire country. I mean, even here in South Carolina, where I'm at, there are multiple protests in my hometown where I was born at, a little small town, Conway, South Carolina. They're having a protest. In Myrtle Beach, a little ways from there, having a protest. Florence is having a protest. Charleston, South Carolina, having a protest. Columbia, South Carolina, having a protest. We're going to look at the maps, see where all this is going on, but the main purpose of it is to try to explain to you why this is going on, what is actually happening by the controllers that are pulling the strings behind the veil. Okay, so we're going to get deeply into that very momentarily. However, first I want to recognize that Miss Kilma's here. You can see her right over here.
Hello.
Helping us out with moderation and other things in the background. I want to recognize that Super Dave and Mike Smith are going to be here, highly likely, and I am going to officially make them today official members of the Supernatural Show team because they're here consistently and they've earned that kind of recognition. Also, we have Roxy here today.
Hey, now it just started pouring here. I don't know if it's going to affect my mic or not.
Started raining there already, huh?
Already, I'm sick of rain. I have seen rain here for 3 days.
I think it's been even longer than 3 days. It's been just pouring.
Well, Sunday we were actually able to get out the house and do a little bit of stuff, but now we're just kind of stuck looking out a window, which I work from home, so you feel like you're trapped in this box all day, every day.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, someone says that there's riots in New York City now like a virus, these people. And yeah, it very much is intended to be like a virus. It's a psychological virus, you might say.
We got one here from Robinson County. You're not
And
far from us, sir.
there is Mike Smith, just like I said he would be here. Mike, you
Hello,
have been
Mike.
you have been in the comments assisting with moderation on multiple channels now for a long time. And I just want to say that you are now officially part of the Supernatural Show team and will be recognized as such on every show, no matter if you're able to make it that day or not, because we're not trying to hold you to something. You just deserve the recognition. You and Super Dave, and possibly one or two others as well.
Miss
But
Honeybee is here just about every day.
Miss Honeybee, yeah. What this means is that these people that are chosen, like Mike and like Super Dave, we're going to now be including you on internal communication that we have as a team. So you kind of have the inside understanding of what's going on, what we're talking about, what the plan is. Uh, will we go live today? Will we not? These kind of things, you're going to be inside information on this now. So, and I will say, it sounds kind of corny, but I will say it. Congratulations, Mike. You earned your place with the show, and what you're doing is a valuable service. So I greatly appreciate what you're doing. Same thing with Super Dave. I don't know if he's here yet, but same thing with Super Dave. I greatly appreciate your assistance. Uh, Curious Georgia and several others, I would say you're getting very close to that internal communication recognition as well on each show. So thank you very much, all of you. And yeah, you're welcome, Mike. You
And Mike and Super Dave, even if I go live over on my channel, the first two in the door every time is Mike and Dave.
well, there you go. So it just hit me the other day. A lot of times when I'm sleeping and I wake up and I'm laying there thinking, and I thought, okay, we're building the team, and we already have people on the team that are here consistently, and that's what we want is people that have glue, able to stick with something and be dedicated. And I'm thinking, wait a minute, we already have a few that are doing a service for the show every show pretty much, and we're not recognizing them as such, and that's just not right. So again, now let's go ahead. Let's talk about some things that are going on. I've got a document here that I put together that I'm going to read in a moment, but and a bunch of other things I want to show you. But I think Roxy was looking into a few things um, in reference to one of the groups that are supposedly associated with a lot of the major protests that are going on around here and across the country.
Oh,
On
sorry. Didn't know you had us on presentation mode already.
Yeah, no, you're fine. You're good. Um, and so just tell us what you found out. And remember, most people aren't familiar with these names and stuff, so kind of explain it.
Okay, well, upon my search of what's going out there on the West Coast, I started running into a bunch of people that were saying, and I've heard this before, that there were Craigslist ads up. Okay, I'm going to start this at US Aid, which Doge just took down. You know, all this money that gets funneled in and it ends up going to these non government organizations. That's what an NGO is. Means it is supposedly non governmentally affiliated. You know, we're gonna go save children in Wakataka, Moawana, Indonesia. And
Right?
the money never gets to Moka Wakataka, okay? It ends up going into these NGOs, which incite these kind of problems. So,
Slush fund.
this is where I want to explain this part. And this isn't about Doge or USAID or any of that. But that money, your taxpayer money that you paid into the Internal Revenue Service, is then put into given to these NGOs, non-governmental organizations, and it's dispersed in situations like this. What you see on the screen is a Craigslist ad from central Los Angeles looking for the toughest bad in the city, seeking extremely tough, brave men for a new crew I'm building. Compensation $6,500 to $12,500 per week. We're forming a select team of the toughest dudes in the area. This unit will be activated only when the situation demands it, but you will get paid every week no matter what. High pressure, high risk, no room for hesitation. There's a whole thing at the bottom. It tells them how they have to go through this interview process. This is how you have all these protesters out there, and most of them are American born with a heritage of somewhere down the line to Mexico. They want them to look Mexican but be American. And they want them to incite violence, is what they want. These ads, this just happens to be one for Central Los Angeles. Quite a few people have been finding these on Craigslist. They're in the general labor section. Anytime you see a job ad like this, and they're telling you that you got to be tough, they're expecting somebody to go out and incite violence. They're letting you know ahead of time that there's going to be violence. And this is what they're doing, and this is happening all over the country. Now, you have the other one, who is it Christy or Catherine Walton? She's one of the Walton children. I can't remember if it's Christy or Kathy is her name, but she's one of the Walton children. Christy Walton. She's one of the Walmart heiresses. She's one of the Walmart children. She has actually funded a full-page ad in the New York Times promoting protest. It's emphasizing values like civic engagement and resistance to authoritism without directly naming the orange man that runs the place. Her whole protest is called No King's Day. And it talks a bunch about democracy, that we're a democracy. Well, a little political science. We are not a democracy, folks. We are a republic. We always have been. We always will be. We are a democratic republic, but we are not a full-on democracy. That works
No,
completely different, and they don't have a constitution.
it means mob rules.
Yeah, mob rules. And so when you see these people that are trying to push for, come support the democracy or democracy this or democracy that, they're not even, either they're uninformed about what kind of government leadership in our Constitution, or they're trying to change something. But why in the world do you need to be like one of these multi-billionaire Walmart children and think you need to go out here and incite protest? Now, also in LA, there's footage of a guy who is handing out what they call biometric face shields out of the back of a truck. They got his tag number. These face shields run between $20 to $40 each. It almost looks like a gas mask. It's like a full face shield, but what it does, the clear thing across the front of it, it messes up artificial intelligence and biometrics for facial recognition.
Ah,
They're handing them out to the protesters so that, this new AI system, this flock technology, can't pick up who they are and trace them back, because they don't want them traced back to their little NGO that's paying $6,500 a week. Now, there's another side of this. How the LA riot started, the only reason it was even a major operation is because they were trying to take down a cartel business there with a warehouse that was importing people and drugs. And when they went in and raided this, the cartel started this riot. So now ICE has come in because all of these illegals have come there to entice in this fight in LA where they were trying to raid this warehouse. This all started from a warehouse raid. Don't get me wrong, there were ICE raids going on everywhere. But the big thing in LA, it started over this huge warehouse that they thought was under cartel control that they've tracked about $80 million worth of drugs and human trafficking out of over the past year. I'm off my soapbox now. I'll calm back down.
so what did you find out about the No Kings website, which is one of the major organizers? What did you find out about that?
It's hidden. It's stuck behind what they actually call
And
domain.
where did you go to find this out at?
Well,
I
the
can
the ICANN who is. You
I
can go
can do it.
there.
It's ICANN and then the words who is, and you can take any website and run a search for it and see who the owner of it is or who's got control of it. But they can pay additional money if they want to hide, and that's what they've done, right?
Yeah, that's exactly what they've done. They've hid behind a third party with an LLC to hide it, but that's not the only one that she has up. Sorry, I got like 9 windows running here. She has indivisible.org. I don't know that Christy Walton does, but it's part of this. There's all kind of, it's nokings.org is the website, and when you click on it and go there, it says in America we don't do kings. The corruption has gone too far. No thrones, no crowns, no kings. On June 14th, well, here.
And that all sounds good, right?
Yep.
All
Why
sounds
did it
good,
not?
but it's not good.
think
Oh,
I
good.
got it.
All right. So let me.
There you go.
Okay, you got it. Yeah,
Yeah,
that's the
that's the
website.
actual website there.
Hmm.
And they in one of the other sites I found, I can't remember what the name of that was. See, this is it. There's your map. This is where they have protests going off on the 14th. So I'm just telling you, folks, you better batten the hatches and make sure you got what you need, because if this goes sideways with all of that right there breaking off, if they're trying to incite a civil war, here we go.
This best thing is to be very aware of it and don't accidentally go driving into an area where these kind of things are going on, which I'm going to get into more, and I'll probably show that site again here in a few minutes.
Well, I've never seen a peaceful protest that you needed training for.
Need training to be peaceful, I guess, huh?
Upcoming calls and training, martial training, and it tells you when. If you want to host one, if you want to get trained for one, if you're a veteran or a military family, I mean, they're having meetings. Pre-mobilization mass call for everybody so they can synchronize their movements.
Hmm.
This is not peaceful. They are not looking for peace.
No, they're not. They're the mantras and mottos and everything are it's trigger words and trigger things that they've got all set up out there to incite everybody. Because who wants a king? Who wants all the things that are going on? We know that all the things that are going on, and nobody wants it. So it's like, let's stand up against it. Well, if you go and stand up with a controlled crowd, there are many things that can go wrong. I'm going to share my screen now, and I'm going to read to you some excerpts out of The Art of War. All right, let's see here. Now, again, this is a little document I put together, and I now about wish I didn't make it gold.
You do love that gold color on stuff.
Well, it's just the color that matches the website, which is why
Yeah,
I
the
did it.
logo.
Logo, yeah, exactly. I'm gonna switch it back though, so that it can be seen better. Now that I'm here, I'm seeing everything very easy to be seen. Okay, so let me start here. Okay, so this is from certain quotes, like the things you see. Number one, that's a quote out of the book called The Art of War. Okay, and I've read the entire book several times, and right out of chapter one. Okay, one of the first things it says is all warfare is based on deception. Now you may think, but Daniel, we're not at war. We're just protesting. You may be just protesting, but they're at war. We're in World War III right now. And once I read this stuff here, you'll understand why you don't have to fire a bullet or a bomb in order to be at war. Okay? So, all warfare, chapter one, right out of the book, The Art of War, chapter one, one of the first things it says, all warfare is based on deception. Okay? It's called chapter one, laying plans. This foundational principle sets the tone for the entire book. It implies that to win, a commander must manipulate the perception of others, including enemies, okay, enemies, allies, and even your own troops. You have to deceive your enemies, allies, and even your own people. Okay. If and okay, so now chapter one, the second quoted verse. If your opponent is of choleric, hot temper, seek to irritate him. Pretend to be weak, that he may grow arrogant. Okay? So if you've got people, you got to remember that we're the enemy. Okay, they see us as the enemy. They want to ultimately reduce the population of not only the United States, but many countries around the world, uh, reduce them greatly. They don't have really the ability or the desire more to engage us directly on. What they can do, which is more effective, is to use psychological warfare in order to get us to conquer and to conquer ourselves, which is right out of Revelation 6:1, the white horse. And he went out to conquer and to conquer. And to conquer is one of the main things you do to conquer is deception and division. So if your opponent has got a hot temper, like a lot of people in America, they all think they're bad, uh, then you seek to irritate them or him. And this is quoted this way. That's I didn't. I'm just quoting it, so I can't change the words exactly, other than verbally, like I'm doing now, or it won't be an exact quote. So if you got people that are mad, get mad easy, emotional, get triggered and everything. Seek to irritate them. This is how to defeat them. Pretend to be weak, that they may grow arrogant. This is in chapter 1, laying plans again. It says, I got written here, this quote highlights how understanding and manipulating others' emotions can provoke irrational action, such as infighting, protesting in great numbers, or turning on allies without you having to have direct confrontation with them. They do it to themselves, unknowingly being manipulated by the ringmaster. Okay. Then we've got number 3 here, and jump in at any time, Roxy. When the enemy is united, divide them. Okay, so people are uniting and they're going out and they're going to protest. We're united. We stand together. So what do you do when people try to unite? You divide them. How do you divide them? Well, there's a lot of ways, but one big way is provocateurs. Okay, in this is out of chapter 6. This line directly supports the idea of causing division and then more division within an opposing force, creating circumstances where they turn against one another. The more you can turn them against each other, the easier it will be to defeat them, using them to do it. The use of provocateurs to divide large groups of people create chaos from which emotional bad choices are made and lead to outcomes not intended.
Well, yesterday, as I'm going through a lot of this stuff that's going on, because as we well know, half of the stuff we see, we can't trust what we're seeing. Um, but there was a young guy in the crowd, and he was just a normal guy. He's out there filming whatever for, TikTok, Facebook, whatever. He's in LA, and he's filming. And there's a reporter in front of him, and he happened to be standing behind her. Well, all of a sudden, she gets a text on her phone, and it says 45 minutes till go time. He didn't know exactly what it meant. She's a reporter with the local news. So he's hanging out. And in exactly 45 minutes, the police went to pushing the protesters back. And he called her on it. He said, "You knew. You got a text. You knew when this was going to happen." He said, "This is all planned, people. What are y'all not seeing?" And he's screaming to the crowd. I don't think he ever went there with the intention of exposing that. It just happened so, and he did. This is all planned, both sides.
And it's being ran by organizations like what's it called? The program they're running right now is Gotham. It's called Gotham, and it's what's the name of the
Palantir.
Palantir? Yeah, Palantir.
Gotham has actually been being used on the battlefield for quite a while. They've
Hmm.
been using it on the battlefield over in the Middle East, especially. It's used by CIA, FBI, DOD, NATO. The Ukraine is actually using Palantir AI programming of Gotham.
Yep, yep. And you better believe it's being employed here. And there, you could say these represent maybe test opportunities or improvement opportunities. But if you're covering your face with a shield so that the camera, meaning the AI, can't see who you are, that obviously is saying that there's an AI involved because there's no security force that's sitting there trying to figure out what's going on with 50 head of people looking at cameras. It doesn't work effectively. You have to have a central intelligence that is behind it, running it. So all of these protests are going to be, they're going to be watched from above, probably from like Reaper drones and things like that, and they're going to be watched from all the cameras and everything on the street. And not only that, down to the people's cell phones that are standing there doing the protesting. And they got a spy in their pocket that's literally showing where they're at, where they're moving to, how many people are moving with them. It's just like traffic on the highways. You know, you can pull up these maps like Waze, and it says cop ahead, or it says there's an accident ahead, or it says the road's closed ahead, and it says everybody on this road is doing about 60 mile an hour, or right ahead there's a slowdown that's only about 35. All this information is feeding back, and you have access to it through an app like that. What do you think they've got access to seeing?
Okay, well, let me give you a little insight. I done a study on this a while back. This is probably 4 or 5 months ago. It wasn't about Palantir, and I didn't realize that A and B were as connected as they are.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, everything you do in this world today has an emotion or a color hooked to it by these AI systems. When you are listening to your music on YouTube, Apple Music, Amazon Music, wherever you listen to music to, everybody streams it now. Nobody's listening to the radio anymore. Every song has an emotion connected to it, a keyword. If you're going through a divorce, you're listening to angry music. You're going through a heartbreak, you're listening to sad music. You're going out on Friday night, you're listening to upbeat music. Each one of those moods has a color attached. They can take you and your playlist and the color attached to it and figure out what kind of mood you are in. They take you and all the other millions of people and take your color based on your mood, and they can tell you if one area on the map is too red or too blue or too purple. They will actually start pushing predictive TikToks or Facebook Reels or whatever to change your mood.
Yeah, it's that elaborate for sure.
It goes right on down to what you're searching on the internet, the recipes you're looking for, the music you're listening to. Are you driving erratically? All of this stuff plays into this flock system that they got. I actually think they call it what is it? Common operating picture. It integrates historical and streaming data to enhance situational awareness. So they can take your music and what you cook for dinner and decide if everybody in the area is in a bad mood.
So, one tip based on that knowledge is, you know, on the last show we talked about you could take your cell phone and put it in a Ziploc bag and put it underwater, and it can't receive messages or send messages or anything. Or you could put it in your refrigerator or your freezer, or maybe wrap it in 4 or 5 wraps of aluminum foil. You know, they made fun of tinfoil hats a lot for a reason, because there's actually the legitimate capabilities. Like we were talking about being underwater, like if you submerge yourself in water, the frequencies that they're projecting can't get to you. You literally could take a tinfoil hat, put it on your head, have a straw that you're breathing through, and escape from the frequencies that are being bombarded upon people, maybe to invoke rage or whatever. What happens if they do this at these protests?
Well, and they've been doing this for longer than you think they do, because
It's a
we all
crowd.
used to listen to broadcast radio. Well, even broadcast radio now is laid out by a program administrator. Your local radio station only plays what the national office told them to play. So let's just say right now in Texarkana, Texas, they want everybody to get mad and get American and pick up your flag and run down there with a stick and start beating somebody. They're gonna start pumping music on public radio that's for
Yep.
free, that will put you in that mood. They can alter your mood with the dang radio
They
or
can
the
move the
TV.
nation. Yep. They can do it. That's absolutely right. That's the way the psychology of large groups of people works. Is you can
This is why all the carpet in Vegas is red. Folks, red is a color of stop. When you see the color of red, you have been trained your whole life that a red stop sign or a red light means to stop and look before you go. This is why all Vegas carpets are red. You don't get up out of your chair. You keep pulling that handle on that one armed bandit. Everything is
right.
psychology, and your government knows it. They've been studying it since 1891 of how to weaponize it against you.
Yep. Yep. Absolutely. All right. So let me continue on with our little bit of reading here, talking about the art of war. These are quotes from the book, The Art of War, for anybody who's just joining. And we're talking about the strategies being used and employed because we, to the ones that run this world, we are the enemy. Especially us that are rebelling against their system, that don't like it, don't want nothing to do with it. And really, especially those like us that are even doing live podcasts, live on 8 platforms right now worldwide, telling what's behind the wizard's curtain. So, anyways, here we go. So, it says, this is another quote out of the book from chapter 6 called Weak Points and Strong Points. Ruse him and learn the principle of his activity or inactivity. Force him to reveal himself so as to find out his vulnerable spots. This implies manipulating the enemy into acting emotionally in ways that expose their weaknesses and maybe even their strengths. Actions which could include internal conflicts or civil strife, force issues that are meaningless in the overall goal, yet knowing they will take the bait and fight each other while you sit back and continue to divide and conquer. Like I've said many times on the show, they can't pull all this stuff off without us doing it. We're the ones that have to build the Stargate AI. We're the ones that have to build the wall down in Mexico. We're the ones that have to do these protests to go out and get these violent situations. They're manipulating all of us on some level or another, some people more than others. Number 5, if he is secure at all points, talking about the enemy, be prepared for him. If he is in a superior strength, evade him. If your opponent is temperamental, seek to irritate him. The idea of irritating a temperamental leader or population into self destructive action fits with the concept of weaponized division. It is the most effective and valuable result for energy expended you can get. Rumors and threats and even sounding like an idiot can benefit you without having to even lift a hand. So it's playing emotional games, basically, is what we're talking about here. Triggering people, seeing how many times you can push them, like the bully in school, seeing how many times he could push you before you finally did something. Every person kind of has a different amount they'll take or not take. And these systems, these AI systems they have, like Palantir's Gotham, tracks all of that and has got you coded, especially when you start doing things like showing up to these events like this. All right,
This
so
system is so smart, it actually tracks body temperature in a crowd. Because when you get, if you're like, okay, this happened a couple of weeks ago right here, Myrtle Beach has flock cameras. There were some shootings down there. They had already been tracking group activity because they seemed agitated from thermal scans.
yep, yep, they can tell. You know yourself, if you're angry and you're holding that anger, you can literally feel the heat coming off your body. If you get really angry or excited where you get adrenaline, you can feel it literally radiating off of you. And these cameras that they have can see this stuff. They're designed to be able to see the aurora and energy and heat and read the body language. They're literally perfecting it.
This is
Gotham,
why they were telling all of us back in the 80s and 90s when we were talking about chakras and frequencies that we were all just a bunch of crazy hippy dippy, y'all don't know what you're talking about, that doesn't exist. That's because they've known it since before World War II, folks, and they've been using it against us.
yep, exactly. The biggest thing they've always been doing is perfecting how to manipulate large crowds as well as individuals. But a large crowd is way easier to conquer, to manipulate than a small crowd. A small group of people are a lot harder. But when you get these large mobs, I mean, it's insane to think that you can go to some protest carrying a sign, shouting obscenities. Somehow you're going to make a change in the world. It's literally insanity. Literally
Well,
insanity.
what gets me is the ones that are screaming about all these ICE raids. You're standing in a country which you did not come into legally. There are legal avenues to come here. You did not come in that way. But yet you stand in a country and crap on it, and you're waving the flag of the country that you didn't want to live in. You don't want to be there. You said it's horrible there. You can't live there. You can't survive. So you come here. And when we tell you you got to do it the right way, then you get mad and you attack our country. If you're getting mad, pack up and go home for the flag that you're waving. I don't care what country you're from. If you don't like it here, go home. You left there and came here for a reason. Go try somewhere else by all means.
But what's even worse is that there is no such thing as a country. It's a psychological dream.
Man made.
It's man-made lines on the ground or on a riverside or an ocean shore claiming this one is named this and this one's named this and these are the rules here and these are the rules there. It's all literal fantasy. It's like believing in the dollar bill. We all know that the dollar bill truly has no value. It only has value is because we are co-in, meaning we are all in on it. We agree it's money. That's why they call the money like a coin a coin. It's spelled co-in. It's we're co-in that this is money. We'll accept this as something of value. There is no value, just like there is no Gulf of America and there is no Gulf of Mexico. First off, there is no Mexico and there is no America. It's all a dream that we've chosen to believe. If you want to get real deep about it. I did want to mention what Stephen said there. He said, I think that they did that in Rwanda, made everybody fighting each other. Yeah, they've done it in a number of different places, I think, and that was a really bad example where they literally, like the whole town killed each other. The whole uh, community, or whatever you want to call it, tribe, you know, wiped each other out. And I'm concerned that we can, if they want to, they can use provocateurs and they can make some or many of these riots go really bad. And you think the ones in LA are bad, and they are, or the ones they've had in other places that we thought were bad, like with George Floyd. Funny how every time Trump gets in office, there's always chaos. And if you remember last time, it was George Floyd and all that, and then they went to the Plandemic. So all this agitation is a manipulation leading to a next step, and it's just a matter of time. Are you doing that? Putting those up? Oh, okay. You can do that. Good, because I sent you as a moderator. I didn't realize you could. So that means, Roxy, on your side, you can post. You can click on chats, and they will show on the screen in case I missed something.
Oh, well, FYI, I just found a video of them handing out those $40 biometric masks.
Say that again?
The biometric mask that I've seen them handing out.
Yeah.
I got the video of it.
You want to show it?
Hang on and I'll present it.
Nope. Let me read this, and you look at it with your mic muted, and make sure it's something we want to show. So I'll read this real quick. So this is kind of like the interpretation, turning the enemy on itself, of what I read above, going through all these different points that came out of the Art of War, the book Art of War. Number 1, all warfare is based on deception. That's about all you need to hear. Number 3, when the enemy is united, divide them. Now, what is the enemy doing? Remembering the people are the enemy to this beast system. They're uniting. They're thinking they're going out and they're getting together and they're going to do something. They're going to make a change. They're going to force a change. Well, they're going to plant provocateurs in there and cause things to go on that this crowd didn't plan on happening. And that's just the beginning of what they could do, because they have the technology to use frequency-based weapons to be able to manipulate literally the emotions of these people, make them go mad and want to kill the guy standing next to them. I'm just sick of it all. Whack. All right. So Sun Tzu advocates for strategies that confuse and mislead opponents into making errors and self-ending choices based on emotion and ego instead of logic and a calm mind. Never make a decision until you're required to do so. A choice made today can alter the future and cannot be taken back. Yet, if the choice was delayed until a decision is required, a better outcome may be possible. And I try to practice this: don't make a decision until you absolutely have to, in my everyday life, literally. Exploit rivalries and divisions within enemy ranks. Take advantage of tribal tendencies, racial, male versus female, Republican and Democrat. Take advantage of all dividing tactics, leaving none unagitated. And that, we know, is what they've been doing. But this is literally straight out of the book, The Art of War. And it's right there to be seen. We're all being manipulated, being jacked with, especially these people that think going down to these events are a good idea. Use misinformation to confuse. Flood the minds of the enemy with rumors and false plans and leaked information, or even so-called whistleblowers, to misguide others into attacking prematurely in foolish ways, or attacking each other, seeing their friend, neighbor, or even their family as the enemy falsely, because they believe they are the enemy. Confusing both sides until emotional exhaustion is achieved. Control conflict without direct confrontation by destabilizing the enemy psychologically or structurally. Rumor that you poisoned the river, yet you would not, because you drank from that river too. Leak planned attack dates and times. Deception is your greatest sword. Like how they've leaked the planned date of July 4th of 2025, saying that they were going to release some kind of a viral type agent to kill hundreds of thousands of people. That freaks people out. That causes them to make decisions too quickly that they wouldn't otherwise made, when maybe the decision is to do nothing, because that's not going to happen in that way. Because there are multiple reasons I explained in the last show why they're not just interested in killing your body and killing you. They want your soul. You see, it's not like the Bible says, don't worry about he that may kill your body or your first death. Worry about him that can lead you into a soulless eternity by killing your soul or stealing your soul, trapping you in a perpetual hell, which is basically what this earth can be. So, all right, what you got there, Roxy?
All right. Let's see. I'm presenting the right window here. All right. You got to take yours down, I think.
Read.
You got to take your present down before mine will pop up.
Oh, sorry.
I don't know. Maybe you got to unpresent.
There we go.
There we go. Okay. This is a video from one of the news channels. I've seen this several times. I'm going to back it up to the beginning, then we're going to go forward a couple of seconds. But as you'll see, I want you to look at the crowd. Like the girl with the blue hair and the other people. They're just casually handing them out, you know. No big rush. There's a massive protest and violent things going on. Now, you see that box right there that she's handing those out?
Mm-hmm.
All right. Oh, it went to the next one. Hang on. I'm going to go forward in this video. That's what it is. See where it said Bionic Shield?
There's the masks. So the
Yeah.
camera can read your face.
All right, here you go.
And
now, I want you to look at the price of these Bionic Shields here. The cheapest one is $64. They are handing these out by the pickup truck loads.
Well, I see $34.95 there and $44.
Well, yeah, $40.
But still, they're handing them out like they're free cookies.
Yeah, they're handing them out like the Plandemic mask, like they're 6 cents a piece.
Mm-hmm.
At $40 a pop to everybody that'll get one. These pickup trucks are lined up all down the side of the road, handing these out. That shield on it will actually disrupt AI because of the convex, the curvature of it.
And also, anytime you don something that covers your face, it alters your state of reality, you might say. Just like when the people took the mask and they put them on for the planned thing, they were wearing the mask, and we still see them. I'm sure y'all guys do too. But when they put that mask on, that means they believe that there's this invisible thing that's on the counter or floating around in the air or on somebody's hand that can kill them. They believe a reality that is not real. And yes, I do not believe that the so-called V thing that they claimed was killing people, it never even existed. Okay? It's the idea, the concept of creating something that's an invisible enemy or invisible thing that will hurt or kill you, that don't even exist, but it can manipulate your choices if you believe it exists. So when you put that mask on, you take on a new reality, just like when these people are putting these masks on. It's a new reality for them too. They've bought into some kind of reality if they're willing to do that. Face of man distributing bionic masks to protesters exposed. Well, that would be one of their provocateurs doing his provocating.
How much you want to bet he's one of them off a Craigslist ad that got paid $650 a week to do this?
$6,500 a week.
Yeah, excuse me, $6,500 a week. But there's one thing I want to impress with that $6,500 a week. That money came through NGOs, which went through USAID, and was your Internal Revenue Service tax payment to FICA. You want to know where FICA goes? He's driving that truck, folks.
So we had a comment a while ago. I can't remember who it was said it, but they said, look up
Aiming for wisdom too.
It was who?
Aiming for wisdom too.
Aiming for Wisdom 2. And they said, look up Ouija DARPA program. And so I looked
Ouija
up
DARPA.
Ouija, like a Ouija board.
Uh-huh.
Ouija DARPA program. And let me show you what it says. So here's the Ouija DARPA program. So DARPA, there are different programs. This one's called Ouija. And if we come down here, it gives a summary. I haven't read it yet, just read a little bit. The goal of the Ouija program is to quantify the high-frequency noise environment in space and improve the characterization of the ionosphere in support of warfighter capabilities. Ionospheric measurement campaigns typically rely on ground-based instrumentation to characterize the ionosphere. Ouija will augment these ground-based measurements with in situ measurements from space in very low Earth orbit, uh, which is called VLEO, to develop and validate accurate near real-time HF, which is high frequency propagation predictions. The VLEO altitude regime, approximately 200 to 300 kilometers, is is of particular interest due to its information-rich environment where ionospheric electron density is at its maximum. Fine-grained knowledge of the spatial temporal characteristics of electron density at these altitudes is required for accurate high-frequency propagation prediction. So I kind of understand what they're saying there, but let's see if we can figure out why they're wanting to know this or see this. Ouija Technical Area Number 1, TA1, will develop, qualify, launch, and operate multiple small satellites carrying scientific and mission instrumentation. The Ouija scientific payload, scientific means magic, just so you're aware. The Ouija magic payload will measure electron density by both direct sampling and indirectly via radio occultation using navigation satellites. The high-frequency mission payload will require a high sensitivity, high dynamic range, low noise, high-frequency measurement subsystem. The antenna for this subsystem is a particular challenge, as efficient high-frequency antennas that operate at the lower end of the band are long, presenting deployment and space vehicle drag challenges. TA2 will develop assimilative models to ingest direct in situ measurements of electron density and through the sensor high frequency tomographic measurements from a satellite in very low orbit. The derived electron density models will be fed into high frequency propagation code and validated with data measured on orbit. The goal is to improve fidelity over current state-of-the-art assimilative models by incorporating high resolution in time and space local measurements with low latency updates. So it's like, and I probably have to look at this some more to really understand what they're doing here, but it's like they're altering the air in order to be able to, you might call it, see or hear better, or see and hear better, if that makes any sense. And I could be off, obviously, a little bit, but this is the first time I've run into this. Let me click on Ouija DARPA program images and see what we see here. What we're really seeing is this image. DARPA seeks ionospheric insights to improve communication. Huh.
They do a lot of this up in Antarctica.
Yeah, I'm not sure. I appreciate the tip on that, though. I'll look into that some more and might bring some more information
Thanks, is back.
to y'all guys.
Where is he
Facts,
at?
Yep.
facts,
Facts.
is in,
Comments.
facts is in
Dude,
the
I'm
house.
gonna whoop up on you. I've been worried about you. Where you been, sir?
Yeah, we about freaked out the other day when you showed up. We're like, we thought you was they done locked you up over there somewhere or something.
We haven't seen you or heard from you, and we were supposed to do a show together, and then you just went MIA on me.
Yeah, man, we'd like to have you back on the show with us here one day. Um, you can coordinate that. You've got a way to communicate with Roxy, I think.
I think email is about the only way to communicate
Email,
him in another country.
yeah, with where you're at. Um, but we could coordinate it so you could get back on the show again and give us some of your intelligent input on some of the subject matter that we're talking about.
I'd
So,
like to know if he's got anything going on over there on his side. Since they got all this stuff stirred up over here, what are they seeing over
yeah,
there?
they've got a hornet's nest stirred up over here right now, which we're talking about. Um, with they've got basically nationwide protests in like 5, 10 locations in every state across the country right now for this Saturday. So that's what's going on here, facts. But yeah, stay in communication with Roxy. We'd love to have you back on. It's a little hard because we can't just text you or call you. We need to find a better way to communicate with you and a couple other
Just for
people that are out
safety's
there.
sake, we're like our regulars, all of you guys. This is just something to say right quick. All of our regulars that come on here and we see you all the time, we get used to seeing you and kind of commenting and interacting in the comments. When one of you disappears and we don't see you for a while, we start freaking out. We're like, has anybody seen so and so lately? Because I mean, we live in
Right,
a world where if you're not in the right place and you say the wrong thing, you can get a set of those nice little bracelets they give out.
right. We want to, but if we're stay in touch, and if something did happen, we should have a way to know this so that that way maybe we as a team could do something about it to help you out or something. Like you end up in the jailhouse and you need $1,000 to get out of jail, and you don't have nobody to do it for you. We as a team, as the Supernatural Show team, which is the viewers and everybody here, you know, we could help each other. But this is only going to work if y'all guys, um, if we all communicate together somehow. Like the best way to do it right now would be basically go over to the website, the supernatural dot show, TheSupernatural.Show, and at least sign up for a free membership. And I'm going through revamping the website right now, and I'm going to revamp the communication system so that our core group of people will not be out there alone. If something's going on, you'll be able to get in touch with us and let us know what's going on. And if there's a way we can assist and it makes sense, we very well might do that. Like if Fax was in the jailhouse and it took $1,000 to get him out or some whatever it is the situation is. I'd like if I was Fax, I would like to know that I had a team behind me that would come looking for me, and
I've
we'd
been
find out
looking
what it
for
was.
facts for a month.
I know, but that's what I'm saying. We ain't got enough communication. We got to get this down a little better. So, yeah,
Yeah, we all need a dead man switch, Scott. We all do.
um,
And I know a lot of people don't think
these,
that, but there's a lot of things that we say as a group that people don't like. So we can be targeted. Dead man switches are not a bad thing.
yep, I have them in place. Um, we could we'll explain sometime how that works exactly, and we're going to incorporate that into the website. So if somebody goes missing because you haven't done your required weekly check-in, it triggers us and lets us know to check on y'all guys. These kind of things. If we work together and support each other, we can make these things work. Look up the Central Command Platform for the government. Okay, I'll try that here in a minute. So fax is saying, how can he communicate with you?
I
I
gave
thought y'all
him the
guys had
website
email.
address. I thought we did too. I've tried to email him and didn't get any return on the
And
email.
Roxy has a website now too called
TheRoxyFiles.com.
TheRoxyFiles.com, and you can go there and submit your information, and she'll definitely be able to get a hold of your fax. And you can try, and this goes for everybody, not just fax. You can always go to TheSupernatural.Show and make sure you have a membership there, even if it's just the free membership. This puts you on a list of names that I know that are people that have supported the show, would like to be in our group of, hey, somebody watch my back kind of thing. So you can go to mine, go to hers.
Find us on TikTok.
Let's see here. Why can't I get rid of? Hold on a second here. Okay. This is speaking of Trump. Let's look at what Trump said.
Someone in the comments said, record his eyes with your phone. They're not human eyes.
There's a lot of weird things going on for sure there. Absolutely. This is what Trump had to say about the DC protest that's coming up here. Well, parade, the DC parade. And if anybody protested, this is what he said was going to happen. If I can get my computer to work. Come on. Really? Of course, now we're going to get a commercial.
Other countries are all celebrating the victory. We're the only country that didn't celebrate the victory, and we're the one that won the war. Okay, if it wasn't for us, that war, you would be speaking German right now, okay? We won the war, and you might be speaking Japanese too. I mean, you might be speaking a combination of both. We won the war, and we're the only country that didn't celebrate it. And we're going to be celebrating big on Saturday. We're going to have a lot. And if there's any protester that wants to come out, they will be met with very big force. By the way, if for those people that want to protest that wants to come out, they will be met with very big force. By the way, if for those people that want to protest, they're going to be met with very big force. And I haven't even heard about a protest. Those people that want to protest, they're going to be met with very big force.
So,
First off, his historical ignorance is, I just applaud it. That's it, absolute historical ignorance about World War II. We did not win that war.
No, it's not ignorance. He knows the truth. He's just, but I know
the ignorance he's propagating. Maybe I should say.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, that's a whole nother rabbit hole to explain all that. But yeah, the whole thing was not what it seemed. That never even had to be a war.
No, and the only reason we even stuck our nose in it is because we wanted those blooming scientists to bring them back here.
Yeah, but we wanted them because the ones that wanted them were already part of them. The whole thing was a deception. They claimed that we won it, okay, simply so we'd stop resisting. You see, oh, we heard down the holler, they hollered, we won the war. We did? Oh, well, okay, I'll stop shooting.
Well, they had to justify all the deaths of our boys that went over there, too.
You know, here is the map, supposedly, for. I hear a thunderstorm coming up.
Yep.
I hear thunder.
5 miles away.
I'm gonna have to look at that real quick. Make sure what's going on here. Don't want to get surprised with a really bad storm when I can do something about it, or rather, our Father in heaven can do something about it. So let's see here. Let's see what's happening. Okay, nothing too bad yet. This one over here is cooking away pretty good, but looks like they don't have any real direction they're moving. They're kind of just wobbling around. And we got this thunder you see popping up right here. It's probably the one that we just heard, or either we got another thunder coming here in a minute. But it's close. We might get some loud thunder any minute now. So, with that being said, back to what we were talking about. This is the map where they're claiming they're going to be doing the parade at. And this right here is the bottom area of the, what do you call it? This is where the White House and all that's at, just straight up here. So they're doing all that right in that area there.
You mean their big owl star forts right there?
Yeah. Yeah, exactly. Let's see. They're claiming that there's going to be, imagine this, 6,600 soldiers. And Trump's building just happens to be 66 stories. But there's going to be 6,600 soldiers, 150 vehicles, and 50 helicopters, and some airplanes, and all this. And if anybody don't like it and they say something or try to protest, you're going to be met with some big force. I mean, what kind of...
He was at Fort Bragg 2 days ago.
It's just insanity, obviously.
Watching the 82nd Airborne.
Here is a map. Maybe. Yeah, that's what they say, right? Here's a map showing a bunch of different protests that are scheduled. This is not necessarily the protests that are related to the No Kings movement or
well, I can find 12 different websites.
Oh, this one is No Kings one.
That are related to the No King, because it's there's all kind of websites associated with it.
Here's the No Kings one. This is South Carolina, obviously, and this is all the different protests that are going on around here. Except for, I checked on my hometown, which is, right over here, Conway, as I zoom in, and it's not on the map, showing on this map, but I checked and there is a protest scheduled for Conway right here. And Myrtle Beach is on the map, so there may be protests that are happening in places that you're not thinking is going to happen. So don't go blindly out on Saturday. Really don't go blindly out any day, and not be prepared for a fact you might roll up on a situation where you can't get turned around. We need to be situational aware all the time, guys.
Okay, and this is something I want to stress to everybody. We don't know how this weekend is going to play off, what's going to happen. I know money's tight for a lot of us. We're living week to week. When you get paid this Friday, a lot of us don't fill our vehicle up till Sunday or Monday. When you get paid on Friday, fill your vehicle full of gas. Have a small first aid kit in your trunk. Have a few bottles of water in your vehicle. Enough that if you happen to go somewhere and all Hades breaks out, you're good for a minute or two and you're not completely stranded and desolate.
It's just minimal prepping. Think.
One of those backup cell phone chargers, that you can take with you to recharge your cell phone, you can stick in your pocket. Some water. Even if it's only a couple of cans of food, just toss them in the trunk for this weekend. What is $10 worth of prepping gonna cost you rather than getting caught somewhere without it? Because you could just be going to town to get groceries Saturday morning and all Hades break loose and you're stranded with a child with you. A few bottles of water.
The road and you can't get back out. And the cops are doing the blocking.
We don't want anybody to get involved in any type of scuffle, but be prepared.
it ain't just the cops, or excuse me, it ain't just the protesters that you got to watch out for. There can be provocateurs that are in a cop's uniform, or maybe a whole SWAT team full of them, or you might have FEMA there or something other. This is a time when you do not really, and it's intentional. You don't know who the enemy is, and I would say, even especially you ladies, you need to be traveling as much as you can with your men, or either piling up with another person. So, because it's always better to be more than one person being together, and it's just a good practice in general. Just think about it. The world is not the same anymore, guys. It's just not. I also did some looking. This image has reminded me. We know where this image is at, right? Mar-a-Lago. Okay. And I found it interesting because the Ark of the Covenant, it is all biblically, it's displayed a lot of times when there is a supernatural battle impending, or even a regular battle impending. The Ark of the Covenant was called out many times uh, when they were getting ready to do something where they wanted a supernatural protection, or yeah, basically those words. And I found it interesting that this was recently in Mar-a-Lago, or Mr. T, one of his places he likes to hang out at, I guess. And you think, well, it's just they wanted to make a copy because it's cool. I don't think so. And I'm not even positive it's a copy. It must be, right? I mean, it must be, but I'm not positive. And see, the Ark of the Covenant was something that you just did not touch. But yeah, it must be a copy, because you just would not have the real thing sitting out here where somebody could just walk up and touch it. And another thing is that something like this is only supposed to be had by a high priest. And what high priest is at Mar-a-Lago? Who is the MAGA at Mar-a-Lago? That's what MAGA means in all languages: Sanskrit, Hebrew, Greek, you name them, except for English. That's what MAGA means, is high priest, or sorcerer, or sorceress, or magic. So who is the magician that deserves to have something like this? Just a simple question. And it just happens to have 6 pounds of gold.
I've always been curious as to why the absolute fascination with gold for him. Like, if you'll think about it, even back in the 80s, about his faucets and his light fixtures, he has been absolutely obsessed with gold since day one. And I mean, I understand what it symbolizes, but
Mm-hmm.
gold decorations are tacky. They went out 30 years ago at the extreme that he does it. So it's not an aesthetics thing.
No, it's much more deeper uh, than just bling. It's that'd be literally a good show to do, to try to go through and discern and understand the true meaning behind that, for sure.
Well, it leads me all the way back to the beginning, because if you look at the Sumerians and the Egyptians, in older cultures, they were also obsessed with gold. Now, I did find out the other day that one of the original things about women wearing jewelry was more about frequency and frequency conduction in the body. Like, particular spots that they would pierce their ears to put a piece of metal in had something to do with
And
frequency.
that's one of the reasons that everything that the Ark of the Covenant is made out of has special frequency or magnetic uh, properties, like gold. The wood that is in the Ark of the Covenant is called acacia wood. And, darling, I'm still alive, baby. She got a little distracted, and she's got the show's going, and she's got it on her phone because she's moderating, and she walked in here still with us live and still talking, so it's like a little bit confusing. Sorry, guys. So acacia wood has special properties. It's when it comes to frequency and magnetics. The crown of thorns. If you look at an acacia tree, all the branches on it are very, very, very thorny, and that wood has special magnetic properties. I would highly suspect that the actual thorn of crowns would have been acacia wood. But everything about this, the ark, even the name ark, is talking about electricity, or it is the ark. It's all related. Anyways, let's see. I think I basically got about everything covered. The biggest thing is, guys, is don't go getting involved with what they've got going on out there. Okay, don't go getting involved in what they've got going on out there. There's going to be problems in a lot of places, and you don't want to be involved in any of it. You're not going to be able to make a change. It's all controlled. There will be provocateurs at any of them that are big events. Like you heard Roxy say, they're paying people $6,500 a week to be provocateurs. And it's literally right on Craigslist for people to see. So, guys, as you know, we have the website called TheSupernatural.Show, as you can see here. You can come here, and if you have a supernatural story or happening to happen to you in the past, no matter how wild it sounds, I want to hear your stories. I keep asking for them, and I haven't gotten many lately. And I will do an actual video or read it even during a live show if you'll send your stories. It doesn't all have to be about angels, or doesn't have to be about anything specific. Any kind of supernatural happening. Maybe you almost died in a car wreck and you want to talk about it. Go up and write in. And this is our supernatural shop, where we have our t-shirts that are available, a way that you can support the channel and get something back. A donation is obviously wonderful, but why not get something like this t-shirt? Let's see, I think this one says something absolutely amazing and cool. You see there? It shows that the stars in the heavens are angels. They're not planets or balls of dirt out there. All of the heavens is supernatural. It is nothing of what you were told when you were born and growed up believing and taught in school. All the stars in the heavens are angels that hold their spot on a grid, a matrix, a firmament, and they all hold and produce and create a frequency, just like we're talking about frequencies. And those frequencies of all of these angelic deities up there singing, doing their thing, is what holds our environment, our world together, or at least part of it. And this t-shirt shows it. And I have even a larger orb, angel orb, right in the middle there, depicting clearly orbs are angels. It says the cosmic choir singing creation together. So it's not just some BS t-shirt with a monkey on it that some channels sell. It's amazing some of the things people will buy. And this t-shirt is only $16.50. Okay. So I've got them marked where, we get a couple dollars from it, but y'all guys get a t-shirt. And on the sleeve of the t-shirt, it says The Supernatural Show on the sleeve, in the upper left there. It's on the right sleeve. So you get to be a little small billboard for us, but it's not gaudy. It's a little small thing that just says the Supernatural Show. And there's a bunch of other designs in here that Roxy's created some of them, and I've created some of them, and we'll be creating more. And so far, I think my favorite still, I don't argue with donkeys, but that's a whole other story. Some of you've heard, I'm sure. Any final thoughts, Roxy?
Be prepared. That's the biggest thing. Be prepared this weekend. Just take it like, kind of prepare yourself like some bad weather might come in. You might get stuck at home a day or
Yeah.
two. Try not to travel. Don't be out in crowds. Situational awareness. This is
But
another thing.
Think through and be smart about what you're choosing. Make your choices wisely and don't make any choice until you have to.
And I want to bring this back because we try to warn everybody about things we see, because we see a lot, because y'all know we are down a rabbit hole every moment that we're not asleep. If we're not down the rabbit hole, Daniel and I are discussing the rabbit hole.
Yep.
But she's like my mom, was at Walmart's the other day. She's 56 years old, and she got stalked. Like, people following her. And this is happening everywhere. I'm seeing an increase in individuals reporting that when they're in Walmart or the grocery store or wherever, that they're noticing that the same people are behind them at all times. If you think somebody is behind you, this is a trick you can do. Take your cell phone, turn it on video, record, stick that cell phone in your back pocket so that the camera is showing. If you think somebody's watching you, just stick your phone in. If the screen is against your actual butt, they can't see the screen that you're recording. Go around the corner of the aisle, stop the video, and play it back. Are they watching you? Because she was in Walmart for over an hour. She's 56. This is not like a 16-year-old girl they were going to snatch up. This is a grown woman. And it was 2 Latino men that were following her through the store. We got a lot of civil unrest with that population versus other populations. They're trying to create diversity and divide. So be aware. Because some people are mean enough just to knock you in the head to say they did it.
Yeah, that's a pretty neat little way of recording behind you so nobody's knowing you're recording is turn your phone on, start recording, and stick it in your back pocket with the camera, the one that's recording facing out.
Right, and you can see if somebody, you can go around the corner, or for that matter, walk off and go toward the bathroom. If you think you're just being crazy, just go to the bathroom, and while you're in the bathroom, pull the camera up and look back at the video. Were they watching you to see which way you went? Were they, you know what I mean? How closely were they? Ladies, don't be walking with pocketbooks on your shoulders. Take the necessary things you need, cash or debit, phone, and keys. Put them in your pants pocket. Don't wear pants without pockets. A bag on your shoulders, just something for them to snatch. They don't want your purse, they want your attention. Once they got your attention, they grab you. When you go to your car, make sure you got your keys in your hand. Put the buggy, get up. If you got to unload a buggy of groceries, put the buggy on the outside. Get between the car and the buggy. That way, if you see somebody coming at you, sham the buggy at them. Try to hit them with the buggy. It's better than nothing. But there are a lot of ladies out there who are single or don't have a man around all the time, or another physical person to be with them. Watch your surroundings, your red lights, your stores, your grocery stores. You don't know in this world, and there's a lot of unrest by what you can see on this map of what's going to happen this weekend.
Yeah. Situational awareness and preparedness. Try to build into the ways you do things, the way you come to your house, the way you get out of your car, the way you walk to your front door. Build in paying attention, noticing what's different, what's not different, noticing anything that's going on around. Have a methodical system you put in the way you do it. So then it just becomes normal. At first, it's going to feel odd, like, why am I doing this? I'm acting like I'm scared. No, don't be scared. Be prepared. That's the whole key.
If somebody grabs a hold of you ladies from behind, go limp. Do not fight. Go limp. Just absolutely go limp with all of your body weight. If you can't physically fight your attacker, put your arms, if they grab you around your chest, put your arms straight up in the air and completely give up with all of your body weight, because that sudden weight of 150 pounds, they're not going to be prepared to grab it. You hit the ground, you roll away.
They expect you to keep standing up. They're going to go, "Woo, woo, woo, woo."
No.
Don't
Arms
help
up, drop. Stop,
Yep.
drop, and roll. Just like you on fire.
And use those fingernails y'all girls like to pay for all the time to gouge their eyeballs out their head. Don't be
Punch
afraid.
them in the throat. Punch them in the other area. Take a kneecap out. Throat, nads, knee. That's the easiest way I can put it on here.
All right. Thank you, guys. Thank you, Roxy. Thank everyone here. Thank you, Super Dave. Thank you, Steve. Thank you to everybody. I love you. Appreciate everybody's help. Thank you, Miss Kim. Of course, she helps me all the time. And let's see, today's Wednesday, so we'll see you on Friday, if not sooner. And remember, I love you. Our Father in heaven loves you. And now, from a word from our, well, I can't say sponsor because I don't get anything from playing this video, but maybe it'll help somebody in some way, or maybe one day I can get me one of these. Here we go.
Baby, the lights are out.
Calm down. Well, it looks like they finally did it. The psychopaths finally flipped the switch like all the conspiracy theorists warned us that would happen one day. And now here we are, sitting in the dark at 3 a.m. No AC, no fan, no CPAP, no lights, no stove, and the refrigerator and freezer will be melted within 36 hours. What are we going to do now?
And no coffee. I'm scared, honey. Do something.
I can't. All we can do is wait for the lights to come back on.
Why didn't you listen to Daniel on the Supernatural Show when he told us this was coming?
If this scenario concerns you as a possible real future event, then you are actually one of the lucky ones, because you know ahead of time. You have the inside information that 95% of the world does not. You were informed by someone whose words of warning you actually trust. This gives you time to prepare. Yes, you may have to make a few sacrifices, like not eating out for 6 months, drinking free water instead of Pepsi, Powerades, or that bottled city water that you tell yourself is better somehow. You may even have to sell that car that is costing you $500 a month. But thank God you're listening now, because here is how your story goes, because you listened to the credible warning from the Watchman.
I've got one that can see.
Logic before authority.
Oh my God, the lights are out, baby.
Calm down, love. Well, it looks like they finally did it. The psychopaths finally flipped the switch like all the conspiracy theorists warned it would happen one day.
Honey, what are we going to do now?
Nothing. The lights will be back on in a couple of seconds. Remember what we planned. Only one light at a time. And when we cook enough for the entire meals for the day. Babe, turn the fan back on and let's get some more sleep. Our neighbors won't go completely nuts for about 2 to 4 days, so we better rest up. Then we need to roll out Operation Blackout like we planned.
Well, we may not have endless power, but hey, we got power, baby, and I am proud of you. I am so glad we listened to Daniel and the team on the Supernatural Show.
So guys, Get your preps straight. The TikTok is ticking. And we can't ignore it away. One option you have is a Blue Eddy or a Jackery solar power backup system. Use the link below the video or visit the TheSupernatural.Show website for more information. When you use my link, I get a small thank you that may help me and Miss Kim get our own solar power backup system because we too need to prepare. Thank you for using our links to make the purchase. Thanks, guys. I love you. We'll see you next time. Friday, about 2 o'clock, here on The Supernatural Show. Robert Alexander, Patty Chapman, Lynn McDowell, Robert West, Marsha Sullivan, Jerry McCoy, Alicia Whitemeyer, Dawn Baker, Diana Avina, Donna Smith, and Phyllis. Diane Park, Cassandra Rusky, Scotty River Army, thank you, and many others.